How are you doing, guys? What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do an install of SQL Express 2019. So first of all, type it into Google. Okay, do a search. Mssql Express 2019. I'm looking. The Express version is the community edition or the free edition, if you want to call it that. So you'll get to this page here. Just taking the first one here. And I'm looking for get one of these or else get this. So get the right edition first. SQL Server 2019 Express. Okay, and make sure you're Express and hit the download now button there. Okay, that's what I want. And this is going to take me into the setup of it. Okay, so what's going to happen here is down here at the bottom, or go to my downloads folder, either or. And just run the setup Express here. I'm just going to say yes to that. And I'm just going to close this window. I don't need it anymore. So, okay, so it's asked me for basic, custom. Okay, I download SQL Server setup files and install them later. Okay, I'm going to select again, the basic is okay. It's going to set up the default database, okay, with the default configuration. I'm going to select custom here. Okay, and first it's asking me for a media location. I'm happy enough with the default one it's chosen. Okay, and I'll click install. Okay, so I'll let it get all the files it needs. Okay, I'm just going to pause the recording until it gets the required files. The point is looking at that. Okay, okay, so once it gets all the files, again, depending on your download speed there, but you're going to get this one here. Okay, so installation make tools, resources, okay. So in this case, I've uninstalled any previous one I had. If I had a previous one, I could upgrade it here, but I'm not. I'm just going to do, because I've taken off everything, a new SQL Server standalone edition here. So I'm going to select the one at the very top, okay, and let it go to work here. Okay, so you can see it'll do a quick scan. Okay, so it checked there's no SQL found. Okay, so let's go to the next and do this. Okay, now you see here, once it ran through the thing, okay, consistency, computer domain controller, everything is passed. But I've got a Windows Firewall warning here. Now, just click on the warning. Windows Firewall makes sure the appropriate ports are open or enabled for remote access. Okay. So what I could do is I could just temporarily, while I'm installing this, is just turn off Windows Firewall. Okay. Okay. So just to be on the safe side, I've opened up Windows Security. I'm going to turn off my firewall just for the purpose of the download and the install. Okay. I'm in Windows Security. If I come down here on the left to Firewall and Network Protection, okay, I can see there it's on. I'm just going to switch each one off. Go back here. Domain network is off. Private network is still active. I'll turn that off. And again, let me just last check. Firewall is off. Firewall is off. Okay. Public network. Okay, I'm going to take the firewall off there as well. Okay. Now again, I'm going to come back when this is installed, and I'll actually rerun. So I'm going to rerun this. Okay, and you can see once I rerun it, everything was sorted out. So I'm going to accept the terms and click next. So don't forget, with reference to Windows Firewall, I'm going to turn it back on immediately I have this installed. So, okay, so I'll hit next. Okay, so you can see here, well, what do I want to run on it? Again, I can take the defaults or check in for any of these ones I want. Okay, shared features, so everything there. So most of it is more or less going to be downloaded. Okay, I'm going to accept all the files there. I can select all or deselect all. I can select all like that or unselect all. It's entirely up to yourself there what you want. So you can see there the size of the download. So it's a fairly hefty download that's going to happen. Okay, that's where it's going to be installed, and I'll click next. Okay, let it check. So again, you don't have to select all the ones I did, just do that. Okay, so you can see there the named instance is SQL Express, SQL Express. So here's the idea. Happy enough there. I'll hit next. I'm going to accept the defaults there. Okay. I really didn't need polybase configuration, but I'm going to leave it there. No, just accept the defaults there. And okay. Again, Java, I'll accept the defaults for the JRE or the Java runtime environment. I'm having enough there. And the server configuration as well here. So again, this is why I shouldn't really took polybase. I don't need it. Okay. Grant perform volume maintenance task privilege to SQL database engine service. Okay. This I'm going to accept that here, just to allow that to happen. Okay. Really, all I want is the database engine, but again, I'll take the rest here. Just for the purpose of the install. When it comes to logging in, I'm going to use Windows authentication mode. Okay, so you can see there it's going to use the current user of the machine here. Okay, so I could use, if I were to set a password, okay, I could use enter password and confirm password as the user, but I'm happy enough with Windows authentication here. Okay, I go to accept default on all the data directories here and the memory, so happy enough there. Just make sure that's checked. Click next. Okay. Again, I'm accepting the download here. Click accept again. Okay, I should get another one now for Python. Sorry, click next. Okay, so I'm accepting the defaults there for Python. Okay, and next. Okay, and now it's going to go into the install. Okay, so I'm going to pause mine here, the video, just so you're not looking at it installing. And what I'll do is I'll come back, and if it stops for any reason, I'll come in. Okay, I'm finished you can see there I've got success for the whole thing, or everything succeeded. Now that was a fairly hefty download. I'm using an i5 processor and 16 gigs of RAM, and I have a reasonably good connection, and it's after taking 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm happy enough there. Again, you didn't have to take a few of the things that I've taken down. Like polybase, basically that's used in data analytics. It's for querying files outside of the database engine, like mainly in data analytics or data interrogation or something like that. So I'm going to close that, happy enough, and let this roll on. Okay, so you can see here I've more or less completed the installation. Okay, am I finished? No. Okay. Again, you can see MSS. Again, I have other things in this like maintenance tools, resources, and options, but I don't need them just for the time being. What I do need, though, is Management Studio. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to come over here just to show you that we have it built. That's how if I go here. So it's just outside of the scope of the thing there. So I'll show it to you after at the end. But what I want is SQL Management Studio. So SQL Server Management Studio 2019, and I'm going to grab this as well. So I would need to have the database engine installed first. That's just what I've done there. And now I'm going to download the SQL Server Management Studio, or MS. Okay, so again, it's going to download the big installer script here. And once I have that installer script downloaded, just give it a minute, we'll then go through the install. Okay, so you can see there it's fully downloaded now. Now that it's downloaded, I can activate it and run it. Okay, so just click it to set it off on its way. Okay, and okay, so here we are. Again, where it's going to install it. Let's just hit install, obviously. And this was just about a download of nearly 700 megs. So. Okay, so just let it go through its install there. I'll give it a second. I'll just pause it while it's happening. So you're not looking at an install going on. Okay, so you can see I'm coming near the end here. I've been pausing it there. This has taken about 10 minutes to get this far. Okay, so setup complete. So I can happily close this. Okay, let's see where we are. If I just move my one down here, and I'm going to just look at what's being installed. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down here, and I'm looking for SQL Server 2019. Okay, so there's the server engine has gone on. Okay, tools. Okay, profiler. Okay, yeah. Okay, everything seems okay. So what I've done here, just typed in Management Studio. So there's Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, again, let's click the app and see where we should be. Okay, so this is what I want. Let me just grab this up. Just move back everything back to the way it was. Okay, I'll make a shortcut on my desktop for this now in a minute, but basically what I want to do is just, what I'm going to check for now is that I can log in using Windows authentication, and then what I want to be able to do is see if I can build create a database. After I've created a database, I'm then going to create a database table, and if I can do that, I'm up and running. Okay. Okay, would you like to import SMS user settings from I'm going to, no, don't import. Okay, I'll just use the defaults. There. Okay, so this is what I've got up now. Do you remember? You might have remembered that during the install. That's what it costs. Windows authentication. Alternatively, I could always SQL authentication if you had chosen username and password back at the install. And I'll just click connect. Okay, and what I should see here, let me just resize everything so you can see it in the screen. Okay, so here we have here. Okay, so here's my SQL Management Studio. If I open up databases here, okay, you can see there, and I've got system databases. Never use the master. That's or any of these ones here. Always start off with your own one. So I'm going to create my own one. I'm just going to right-click databases and select New Database. Okay, and I'm going to call it my first name. Okay, Damien. Okay, you can get creative and call it that you like. You can call it Donald Duck. It's not going to make any difference. Okay, and I'm going to click OK. I'm going to accept all the defaults. Happy enough. And there's a database now called Damien. And if I open up the plus beside that, you can see I have a load of stuff here. Okay. Now what I can do here, if I open up tables, You see, I've no system of all this, but I've none of my own tables. Okay, I can do this with a query. So if I click on query here, new query, I'm going to get a query window here. Okay, I'll just make the text a bit bigger. Okay, so what I can do here is the first command I'm going to say is use Damien. This is a command to use the Damien database and not the master or something else that was done there. Okay, so what I can do here, if I click and drag over that and just execute, you can see a result coming down here that yes, it is going to use the Damien database in order to do something. Okay, the next command I'm going to give is to create a table, and the command is create. Okay, so let me start off by the command is create. Now, I've just done it up in Notepad, and I'm going to do it here. So create table contacts. Okay, so I have a contact ID, which will be an int. I can also make that the primary key and auto increment if I want. We'll do that in a later one here. So that's my first field. Second field, I have last name, first name, address, city. Okay, or else I can just do first name, so it's just the way I'm doing it here. Okay, highlight that. Okay, and click the execute button here. Okay, and you'll see there the commands completed successfully. Now, if I go over here to tables on the left and refresh, you can see there's my DBO contacts, database object dot contacts. Open that up, and if I open up columns, there I can see all the columns I just created there. So let me open that a bit further. So there's my table there. Okay, so once I have a table created, I can start putting stuff into the table, and then I can run queries and everything I want from it. Okay, so that's the install. So for working with databases and SQL, this is where we need to be before we start. Okay, so this is the starting point. So again, what I'd like you to do is install it yourself. Just follow on all of the things there. One tip there is just make sure you have your Windows update. I'm using Windows 10 here at the Home Edition, and again, don't forget the Express one there. It's the free one, and we should be able to do everything we need to do now with databases with this up and running. Okay, thank you for your attention.